the belief you did not know you could until you had to. This is not a video about strength. This is not about pushing through or finding your inner resilience. You might recognize something in what follows. That is allowed. Noah wants to help you understand yourself and the people around you a little better. Nothing more than that. Nothing less either. Opener. There are things you find out about yourself not by looking, but by falling. Not by deciding to be stronger, or preparing, or working on yourself in a quiet moment when life is manageable. Not through a book or a conversation or a choice you made on a morning when everything was still okay. By arriving at a place where there was no floor left, and then doing something anyway. Not because you knew it would work, not because you felt ready, just because the body kept going and you went with it. But later, maybe weeks or months or years after, you looked back at what you had done and felt something close to confusion, a quiet strangeness, a question that arrived without being invited. Was that me? This is about that question, and about what it means that the answer is yes. Part 1. The ground. At some point, things were in order. Not perfect, but ordered. You had a shape to your days, a role you understood, a version of yourself that fit the life you were living, work that made sense, relationships that followed a logic you could read, a way of moving through the world that had become, at some point, simply how you moved. There was a time when that felt like exactly the right thing, when the version of you that lived inside that structure was as honest as you knew how to be, when the fit was real, even if you never stopped to describe it as a fit. It was just life, just how things were. That is not a small thing. A lot of people spend years looking for that kind of stability, a life that holds, a version of themselves that works in the world they actually live in. You had built something like that, and because it held, you did not question it. You did not need to. The ground was there. You walked on it. You had other things to think about. The person you were in that time was real. That is worth saying clearly. The version of you that lived inside the working life, that showed up in the way you showed up, that trusted the ground because it had never given you a reason not to. That person was not performing, was not pretending, was making choices that made sense given what you understood then, was being as honest as that moment required. It was not a version of you that was wrong. It was a version of you that had not yet been tested in that particular way. The test was coming. You just did not know that yet. Part 2. The loss. There are moments when life does not change gradually. It changes all at once. The work that defined you stops being there. The relationship you built your days around ends. The version of the future you had been moving toward closes quietly, without ceremony, without giving you a chance to prepare a different plan. You did not do anything to deserve this. That is the part that takes longest to absorb. The losses were not consequences. They were simply what happened. Life shifted underneath you and took things with it that you had assumed were permanent. That is allowed to be as hard as it is. There is a specific kind of grief for things that were real and are no longer there. Not just for people, for structures, for the daily shape of a life that worked, for the version of yourself that existed inside something that no longer exists, the job that gave your mornings meaning, the home that was yours, the relationship where you were known. These things were not small. They were the architecture of a life. And when they go, what is left is not just emptiness. It is the outline of what was there, the shape of something that is no longer present, visible precisely because it is gone. You are standing in that outline now. That is not nothing. It is actually a very specific and very difficult place to be. The first instinct is almost always to go back, to find the version of things that was working and return to it, to call the people who were part of it, to stand in the places that held meaning and wait for the meaning to come back. The instinct is not wrong. It is what people do when something they relied on disappears. They reach for it again. And sometimes the reaching produces nothing. The door does not open. The space that was yours has reorganized around your absence. The life you were part of continued without you in it. That moment, when the returning does not work, is its own kind of loss on top of the first one. Part 3. The fall. It is rarely a single moment. That is one of the things that makes it hard to describe later. When someone asks what happened, because what happened was not a clean event. It was a series of things. A shift in circumstances that seemed manageable at first. Something ending that was not supposed to end. A structure that had felt permanent quietly revealing that permanence was something you had assumed. what you expected and what was actually happening becoming too wide to bridge with effort alone. There is a moment when you stop trying to organize your way out of it. Not because you give up, because the part of you that was doing the organizing finally runs out of configurations. Every approach has been tried or imagined, and none of them changes the fundamental shape of what is happening. The mind, which had been working very hard, goes quiet. And in that quiet, the full weight of where you are becomes available for the first time. That moment is not a breakdown. It is a form of clarity, unpleasant clarity, the kind that arrives not when you are ready, but when the alternative, the continued managing, the continued framing, finally becomes more expensive than the truth. This is the edge, the place where the ground was, and you are standing in it now without a plan for what comes next, because no plan you had accounted for this. Part 4. The Dark. There is a particular quality to the dark that is not just about the absence of light. It is about the absence of direction. When you are in it, you cannot see a way forward, not because you are not looking. You are looking. You have been looking. But the looking does not produce anything, because the thing you are looking for, a clear next step, a sign that something will work, a version of the future that makes sense, is not yet available. It is not hiding. It is genuinely not there yet. For as long as it lasts, the body knows before the mind catches up. It gets heavy in a way that is different from tiredness, quiet in a way that is different from rest, a quality of stillness that does not feel chosen. The body is not failing. It is responding. It is doing what a body does when the system it belongs to has been running on something that is no longer available. You are not falling apart. You are registering something real. The body in that state is not a problem to fix. It is a record of what actually happened. Nobody tells you how long the dark lasts. That is one of the harder parts of being in it. Not the darkness itself, though that is hard enough, but the not knowing, whether this is a week or a season, whether something will shift on its own or whether something has to happen first, and what that something might be, and whether you have any part in bringing it about. The uncertainty about duration, layered on top of the difficulty of the situation, creates its own particular weight, a kind of endurance that does not feel like endurance, because endurance implies a quality of strength. And this does not feel like strength. It feels like survival, like the minimum. The minimum in those conditions is everything. Part 5. The surprise. At some point, there is enough distance to look back, and what you see is genuinely strange. Not in a dramatic way, in a quiet way that takes a moment to land. You see yourself moving through something that, from where you stand now, you are not sure you would have bet on. A version of you that kept going in conditions you would not have chosen. That found the next step when the next step was not obvious. That carried something heavy for a long time without setting it down. The strangeness is not pride. Pride implies you did something exceptional on purpose. This is a different feeling, closer to the experience of meeting someone you did not expect, and then realizing that someone has been in you the whole time. Closer to that. Was that me? The comfort zone never asked that question. It never needed to. It provided a different kind of knowing what you were good at, knowing how to operate within the structure you had built, knowing yourself in the conditions that were familiar. That is real knowledge. It is just a different kind than the one you have now. What you have now, you could not have gotten any other way. You do not walk away from something like that unchanged. That knowledge does not make the hard things easier when they come again. It does not guarantee anything, but it changes something about how you stand in front of difficulty. There is a quieter quality to it now, a steadiness that does not come from certainty about the outcome, but from something you know about yourself that you could not have known before. You found out what you are made of, not by asking, by having no other option. That is yours now, all of it. Closing. I have been in places where I could not see a way forward, where the structure I had been living inside stopped being available, and what would replace it was not yet visible, where I kept moving not because I was certain of anything, but because moving was the only thing on offer, where I looked back afterward and could not fully account for how I had gotten through, except to say that something in me did not stop even when I would have understood if it had. What I found on the other side of that was not a lesson I could package, not a strategy or a framework or a set of things to remember, just a different relationship with what I am, a quieter, more grounded sense of what I carry. If you are on the other side of something like that, I want you to hear this clearly. What you did in those moments was real. The step you took without knowing why. The day you got through without knowing how. The carrying unnamed and unwitnessed. lasted, that was you. Every part of it. Leave something below if this is yours. A word, a dot, just your presence. Let the next person who finds this know they are not the first to have stood in that place.
I remember when the days were simple, when I knew exactly where I stood. I never thought about what held me, because everything around me did.
Then something changed beneath the surface, and the life I knew was suddenly gone. I kept looking for the way back, long after there was nothing left to return to.
I kept moving through the silence, without knowing where it led. Something carried me through places I was certain I would never leave.
Was that me?
Was that really me?
The one who kept on walking,
And there was nowhere left
to see. Was that me?
I still don't know. I only know I found something
I had never had to know.
There were days that felt like nothing,
Just a body moving through the dark.
I wasn't searching for an answer,
I was only trying to make it through.
and somewhere in that endless waiting,
Something changed without a sound,
I stopped asking when it would be over,
and somehow found myself still standing there.
I never caught it straight.
I never thought it meant a thing,
I was only doing what was left.
when everything else had disappeared. Was that me?
Was that really me?
The one who kept on walking,
When there was nowhere left
to see. Was that me?
I still don't know.
I only know I found something
I had never.
had to know.
Maybe you don't meet yourself.
When everything is going right,
Maybe there are parts of you.
that only wake up in the night,
When every answer disappears,
and nothing tells you where to go.
maybe that's when you discover,
What was there all along?
was that me? Was that really me?
The one who kept on moving,
When there was nothing left to believe.
was that me? Now I know there was something underneath there,
Something I could never see.
and I carry it with me now.
Wherever I go,
I didn't know I could, until